welcome to the jungle of Hero Wars. Today I want to talk about the crazy human fox Satori. He has received a small adjustment but with a huge impact, especially in the mid-game. To play against him feels now how he looks like, really gay. He's now able to kill many teams very quickly and so easily. If you do one little mistake, it's generally over. The fight feels now like a known scene in a prison, where the opponent gets a piece of soap in the hand, of course a slippery one, and Satori stands very close behind him. One little mistake and he drops the soap. Whoa! And Satori is gonna tear his butt up. Ouch, this hurts. More fun for Satori owner, more pain for the rest. But what is this change about? We didn't really receive an announcement about it, but with the introduction of the new Mystic faction, they have added one little sentence to his green skill. It applies now for every Mystic ally, one additional mark. And that's all. His ultimate does for each mark on max about 50,000, and his artifact buff is not included yet. When we add it, do we reach 67,000. So with 4 Mystics do we reach over 250,000 potential damage per target. And to build a team of Mystics is not really hard. If we watch the fight before, do we see 4 Mystics are in this setup, and Satori uses his green skill very early in the fight. Every enemy has now at least the 4 marks. Thanks to his little life points and his position at the front is he fast loaded, and this behavior makes him really dangerous. We see the calculated 67k damage per fox at Ishmael, but Sebastian gets only 42k and Astaroth even 90k hits. For this we have to look closer at his stats. The important stat is here his magic penetration value of about 17,000. As long as the magic defense value of the enemy is lower, then he will do his full damage. Is the value higher, then the damage will be reduced. These are all heroes with a higher magic defense value than Satori's penetration, and Sebastian is also here. He has about 2,000 more than Satori's penetration. If we use the sweet formula, do we have already a 37% reduction. Especially the heroes over 20k magic defense have a good chance to survive his ultimate. Lian and Judge have about 30k. Let's look how many damage they will get. Here's a max fight, and even with 2 magic attack buffs on Satori's side, do we see the nice reduction of 80%, and they survive it very well. Now the magic defense becomes more important. So we have 15 heroes who are able to resist him more or less, and 3 of them are even gaining bonus energy, which is generally for Satori a big feast, because his violet skill applies for each time they gain the bonus energy 9 additional Firefox marks. Before you go too crazy with upgrading him, you should know one magic defense buff changes everything. Maya provides here a 32,000 magic defense buff, and this is for the whole team. If Satori's foxes are hitting into it, wow, looks like a fart, but it blows still Orion away. Perhaps too much fire. We have a really smart fox here who's the only one with a protected ultimate. They have changed the text, but the behavior was the same before, really. And that makes the soap slippery. If he starts using his ultimate, you can only kill him to stop him. Even Kark's uplifting doesn't affect him. Silence will not be applied. Stunts? What are stunts? Even the back pushing with a spear in his head. He doesn't care. And additionally he steals the intelligence of his opponent and heals himself with it. The amount of it is not bad and helps him often to survive. The only missing information is how much damage does his basic attack. We know he has a magical attack and up to 65,000 magic attack power, but he has not a that strong basic attack, or? Only 15k at max. This is just his physical attack converted into a magic attack. If we look now at his second basic attack, it's higher than before, but why? It's because of the intelligence stealing. It's his main stat and 1 point in your main stat increases also your physical attack by 1 point. What about physical attack buffs? Do they increase his basic attack? His first attack does about 3100. Chaba has now one of the highest magic defense value, by the way. Next, 3200. 3300. 3400. And now Kark provides the physical attack buff. Boom, 8k. Cool, perhaps a new strategy to play with Satori. The next crazy fox move is about Astaroth and his resurrection. If his enemy has a lot of foxfire marks, generally because of the bonus energy, like Martha here, then they will still consumed and kills his target even after the resurrection. Wow, a very mystic behavior. What about Ziri? Is she in her ground protected? No, the foxes are really awesome. Okay, let's talk about the team setups. In my opinion, a must-have with Satori is Celeste. She is the most slippery on your soap. Celeste is a mystic too, and in her light form she casts a purifying sphere on the lowest health ally, clears and blocks all debuffs for 5 seconds. If your enemy attacks you with control heroes, then she is a beast. We see Jorgen's debuff on Satori, and he gains now no energy. But Celeste is able to use her ultimate with 50% energy and clears it easily. And the soap is dropped. Also the stun of Lars, easily removed. They work very well together, and she casts in her dark form a cursed flame, which stops the opponent healing and even Astaroth's resurrection. Astaroth is a good keyword and you should use him too. Satori is so squishy and he dies very fast. With Astaroth's blue skill, your Satori will get additional help in critical situations. If he drops low, Astaroth transfers 47% physical damage to himself. But yes, the main reason is of course the resurrection. If Satori gets killed before he is able to use his ultimate, like here, then Astaroth will bring him back to life with a full energy bar. And the comeback is great. This can turn a lost game completely around. Another nice hero is Faceless. The Mystic faction has no one with a magic penetration buff. Faceless has one. He has some control abilities and helps to make things a little bit unpredictable. Here's a very interesting situation where Satori dies and the fox marks disappear. But what does Faceless? He just finishes perfectly Satori's job and even stronger, and with the additional penetration buff. Very awesome move. Or you could try Mojo. He has also a magic penetration buff and I learned to like him in the legendary draft. He looks not really strong, has some healing, some stunning and some good damage. I was very impressed by him. If you are liking glass cannons, you can try the Nebula or Orion variant. It's very brutal. Satori's AoE attack is buffed. And Orion's ultimate is buffed too. Those two attacks are able to kill many heroes directly. Very awesome. And you have no problems with the magic defense anymore. Orion is literally a magic penetration machine. But to use 3 low life heroes makes you extreme vulnerable too. Nevertheless, an interesting setup. Okay, let's talk about how could we counter him. Especially if your enemy is not using the slippery Celeste. Hey, no dirty thoughts. Then it's very easy if you are using Mr. Jorgen. For Satori is his ultimate essential, and Jorgen's energy freeze is very great for this. Because of his bonus energy gaining is he fast loaded, and if Satori gets not much damage, then you will stop his energy gaining completely. But only for 8 seconds. With a great Faceless copy could you extend it, but that works not in every setup, like here. And Satori has now 100% energy. No. Pooh. So we have always a risk if we couldn't keep up the energy freezing, but it's a great and easy way to give you some time. We have another great counter and finally it's again a bonus energy gainer, Phobos. Also a Satori gets scared just by looking at him. Even a super low Phobos does here already a great job. His Bonds of Darkness transfers all the gained energy of his target to him. If Satori has the highest magic attack, like here, Phobos will steal the energy and use his ultimate very fast. And this is what we want. Damage, stunning and energy burning. But the damn slippery Celeste cleans it. And now watch at this wonderful energy burning. Satori is out of energy and even if he gets some, Phobos burns it away. Of course you could combine him with Jorgen, but it's not always necessary. Unfortunately, this great move doesn't work always properly too. In this example was luckily Celeste and Martha not maxed like Satori, so it was easier to get Satori as target. What the hell I'm trying to tell you? For this we have to look at the magic attack stats. He has now at max 65,000, and this is with his new magic attack skin. Some experienced player haven't skilled it, exactly because of Phobos. Keep this always in mind, these are over 10,000 magic attack points. Nevertheless, we have many heroes with a higher value than Satori, Celeste and Martha for example, who we have seen in the fight before. But his greed for wisdom has now a disadvantage. He gains 720 additional magic attack with each basic attack. After the 3 basic attacks of Satori, Phobos uses his Bonds of Darkness, and Satori will have 67,400 magic attack. Satori overcomes Celeste but not Martha. Martha will be the target. With the next basic attack will he have already more than Martha, and depending on the timing of Phobos' ultimate and the used heroes of your enemy, could it be that you get another target than expected. The fox is hiding himself very well between all these heroes. So Phobos is very nice but also risky if you are not knowing how your enemy is skilled. In the mid game you will often see all resources are put in Satori, so here should it be easy to use successfully a Phobos. In my opinion is the best way to use Satori's intelligence against himself with the funky Cornelius. His ultimate hits the highest intelligence enemy and does up to 2 million physical damage. Additionally, he provides many magic defense, which is also a great choice versus Satori. This is not a perfect fight, but we see here many good things. The additional protection by Cornelius, which looks really useless. The slippery Celeste uses her ultimate about the same time like Jorgen and protects Satori. Cornelius' big flying stone kills Satori. And even a nice copy of Faceless. And if you are wondering, yes, the Max Jorgen is still alive. He has so many life and a great magic defense value that he can survive it. This combo is in my opinion the best counter and works perfectly for players with low resources. Morrigan's fast dropping is here very important to provide the armor buff for the low Cornelius, who is fast loaded because of his super little life points. Jorgen locks the energy gaining and Corny kills the slippery Celeste. Morrigan stops the resurrection and Faceless exposes with his race Satori for Zisha's basic attacks. It's a crazy counter but also with many good anti-magic heroes. But it's a great combo which works in the max variant perfectly too. Cornelius and Morrigan's life are higher, so they are slower with their ultimate. But this guarantees Cornelius' monolith to hit Satori directly, and wow, Astaroth takes some of the physical damage, which is a really bad idea. Double one-shot. If we have a look at the intelligence overview, do we see again Satori's clever height? And that's the reason why the low Cornelius attacked Celeste at first. But the differences are smaller and after 4 basic attacks is he already number 1. The undeads are common counter thanks to their magic defense buffs, but this one is really smart. He forces Satori with Kira to use his ultimate exactly while Cornelius' buff and Morrigan's buff are active at the same time. These are over 40,000 additional magic defense and Satori does nearly no damage. Nothing was useless now. If you are more the easy type and say, huh? Then I have some good news for you. Especially for the second position Satori's is the aggressive Daredevil combo great. It's always amazing to see how many hits are flying around. But you need a well-developed team for this, and it depends always on your crits, and in most cases works it well, but sometimes Satori is able to use his ultimate, and if he has enough mystics, then it could be a disaster. But not this time. Whoa. Even a KSJ or Craziest Candy can work. You have only to be faster than him. I prefer more the tactical ones, but if you have no other options left, it's good to know. Last but not least, how to counter the counter. The first one is Lian. They have a similar look and that's the reason why they fit well together. Lian is a mystic too and her magic attack is about 70,000. If someone is trying to use his Phobos, then Lian will be his target and it takes much longer until Satori overcomes her magic attack. In this example do we see the next advantage of her against Phobos. When he's using his ultimate on Lian, he will be directly charmed and interrupts himself. Very cool and a little bit sad. We have another option to counter Phobos with Nebula. Her magic attack buff is so crazy that Phobos will always aim the heroes with it. And if the positioning and timing is right, then she removes his bond perfectly. These are all reasons why I prefer the Cornelius counter. But even there could help Ziri. Also a mystic, highest armor, but that's not the reason. Her ultimate is very unique. She taunts the enemies and all attacks are going to her for 8 seconds, including Phobos and Cornelius' ultimate. With her green ability is she able to reflect physical damage back to the attacker. And Cornelius' monolith is a physical attack? Yes, you get it right. With the perfect timing between ultimate and green skill, is it possible to reflect Cornelius' attack back to him? Unfortunately, it's the calculation based on Ziri's intelligence, and she has only 2k. A max Cornelius will get only about 100k damage. Nevertheless, a crazy move. I hope you have enjoyed this video, and please let me know how you like my Galahad Satori interpretation. Peace.